Hi, I'm Amy Satori, a twin flame and intuitive spiritual counselor assisting in raising the vibration of our planet. I am able to scan your energy field for emotional blockages and talk to your organs using Qigong energy healing. I can also help you make decisions, talk to your pets, guides, deceased loved ones, and your family or friends' higher selves. I can help you navigate your relationships and answer pressing questions in your life by talking with the unseen world. I am not a doctor, psychologist, or fortune teller. This is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously whatsoever. Having also been enlightened for 6 months years ago, I have a feel for oneness with God and use these skills I've developed to translate the images, feelings, impressions, and messages I'm given while tuning into you and your situation. You can ask me anything by calling 256-291-1191 any Sunday starting at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Follow me at thesatorishow.podbean.com, find me on Instagram, or order a reading at amysatori.com today. So sit back and enjoy this episode of The Satori Show. And thank you so much for joining me here on The Satori Show this week. Today is the new moon, September 9th. Big energetic day, beautiful day for new beginnings, and oddly enough, or not so oddly enough, many readings this past weekend had everything to do with major endings and new beginnings, as you could see on my Instagram page. It was really crazy. So big energy happening. In fact, I was going to mention something about feeling your divine counterpart's energy sometimes, because this week I kind of had a profound thing happen to me in regards to my masculine. Thank you so much. I do a reading every night before bed. Pretty much, it's my way of just winding down, and I just look at some cards and get some guidance, and I just sit at my altar and have some quiet time. And I was very peaceful in a really good place, and I was sitting there at my altar when all of a sudden I had a feeling come over me that started to overtake me and surprise the hell out of me. Honestly, I was like, what in the world is happening to me? My cheeks started burning. My whole body felt like it was on fire. And I was like, oh my gosh, my heart started pounding like really hard. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, this is anxiety. I'm having an anxiety attack. And I felt like throwing up. So I got up from the table and ran to the bathroom. I didn't end up throwing up, but I sat in there just like, holy cow, what was that? And it's like everything was swirling. I got up and looked in the mirror, and I was just pale. There was no blood in my face, and I was just clammy and really shaky. And I was like, holy cow, he must be really going through something. And I don't know what it was. We're not really in communication. So I just sent them blessings, and that's what you do if that happens to you. Just send them lots of love and encouragement. Send a blessing if you can do that. And you'll help get them through that, and vice versa. If either of you, if you're ever feeling just totally normal or even happy or whatever emotion you're in, and all of a sudden you feel exactly the opposite real quick, and there's no explanation, it's probably your twin. It could be sexual energy. It could be just about anything you can imagine. So tune into it and start to learn to feel into them and feel that telepathic connection you guys have. It's kind of interesting, and it's really nice to know that there's always someone there who will have your back and be there for you in that way. It's kind of neat to have that connection. Anyway, so I totally forgot to mention, you guys, on the last show, one of my biggest triumphs on my trip to Switzerland. Oh my gosh, I conquered my biggest fear ever on the planet. My crew on the other side totally set me up. I could have been punked. It would have been like so perfect, but I was at the Dublin airport, which is known for being like super high security. They put you through the ringer. It's probably almost as bad as Russia or similar. I don't know, but there's like, machine guns and everything. And they put you through several security checks, not just one and not two, but they really put you through the ringer for you to do anything or go anywhere. I had lost my baggage, so I was looking for my baggage, just kind of checking on it. My friend and I put in some baggage, some other carry-ons we were getting all set up for taking our trip, basically. And then she turns around and she realizes her bag is gone. One of her bags is gone. And she's like, I don't know where I put it. And I said, I don't remember seeing it. You must have left it on the bus. And then she ran after it, and I think she was going to try to flag the driver down or something. And I didn't see her for like a really, really long time. And then the security guard came up and asked me if everything was okay, and I told him what happened. And he remembers seeing her, and so at least he knew what she looked like. And then, I had her paged after like an hour and a half. I was telling everyone, if you see her, everyone who saw her, I was like, if you see her again, please let her know I'm over at this airline waiting for her at the customer service desk. I tried everything, and it felt like, I don't know how long it was. It must have been like 2.5, almost 3 hours that I was waiting for her, and nothing. And I was trying to text her, I was trying to call her, I was trying to email her like crazy, and she was not getting anything of mine, and she was also trying to reach me, and nothing was coming through to me. And she also paged me. So I didn't know, and neither of us knew any of this was going on. There was just an absolute, complete disconnect between the two of us, and I was totally lost in the biggest airport, and was just faced with that decision of do I go do this by myself? And I asked the customer service place, I was like, this is how much time I have to get to my plane, and I still have to go through all these security checks. When do you think I should leave? And she looks at her watch and she's like, you got to go now. And I thought, oh my God, no, this can't be happening. And honestly, you guys, I can face just about anything, but like that, I really had to listen to my own advice and take my own advice, because I just sat there, I got it together, and I thought, I'm not a child, I can do this. I don't have to crumble right now. I don't have to cry. I can get through this. I can ask people how to do anything, even if I look stupid. Who the heck cares? And so I did it. And I was carrying her bag was full. It was like, felt like it was freaking full of cement. It was unbelievably heavy. I couldn't believe it. So I had to carry 2 bags of mine, 1 bag of hers, all through this hectic security system that was just insane, and went through like 3 security checks. It had to go through the United States thing, and it was unbelievably stressful. But I got through it. I got to my gate, got on my plane all by myself. All the time I'm laughing and talking to my guides going, oh my gosh, what have you guys done? Thanks a lot, you guys. I know exactly what you guys are doing. You guys are pushing me past my comfort zone, and it's perfect. And I was like, at one point I'm like, come on guys, help me out. And they were like, what do you think we're doing? So I was like, ah. Anyway, so I get on the plane, I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, well, then I go to Chicago. I got to do this all over again in Chicago all by myself. And I thought, that's okay. All right, I'm doing this. I felt like a little warrior. I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I'm sitting there in the chair, and all of a sudden I look up, and she's walking in at the very last second, one of the very last people to board. And we looked at each other. We were like, we have never been so happy to see each other ever. And we were like, oh my gosh, you have no idea what I was trying to do to get to you. And, we hugged and laughed and shared our stories of how we were trying to reach each other the whole time. It was pretty amazing. But when the universe wants to teach you a lesson and help you get over something and show you just how strong you can be and give you a boost of confidence, it'll do it any way that it has to, even if it's by a free trip to Switzerland and getting your friend to disappear for a while. So I did it, and I feel great having done that. So also, I just wanted to give like some quick little energetic updates, and we do have a call, so I'll try not to, I can go back to some of this a little bit later, but I will just run through some things real quick from this week. Let's see, so many people... Okay, so many people want a soulmate relationship at this point because it's so much easier. But to me, if it doesn't make you sacrifice something or grow you, it isn't true love. True love makes you want to better yourself. Both of you deserve this kind of love, but it takes time, patience, and triumph over fears for this flower to unfold. It's like when Jesus says he can give you a fish or he can teach you how to fish. Our twin flames teach us how to handle our emotions, be compassionate, forgive, get over our egoic traps, see our mental limitations, to believe in ourselves despite what others think we're capable of, and become spiritual warriors. The other is divine masculines, whatever your secret is, why you dated so many other people, wouldn't go in the direction of your feminine, you were like digging in your heels, you had a child, you got an STD, you have an addiction, or don't want to explain why you stayed away so long. All your divine feminine cares about is having you show up honestly and sincerely. I swear to God, that's all they want, you guys. You're not going to be turned away for the long haul. I don't believe it. I mean, yes, you can both choose to go your own way. That does happen, but honestly, even if they've selected a soulmate, you got a pretty darn good chance of succeeding anyway, and that's just a little secret. Okay, don't hide your feelings or the truth. Even if whatever you have to say throws them off initially, they'll get over it and match you at that same level. Whatever you do, do what you say you're going to do. And if you don't want to further damage their trust, basically, don't let guilt or regret over the past create any further guilt or regret. You guys, take a step toward your happiness and make your feminine stay. All right, cultural divides have been coming up as well. Thinking you have to stay with the way things have been. I mean, I'm talking about like other countries where they have arranged marriages and things like that, where they have kept everything in the blood in their class and in their whatever you call it. What is it? Oh, I can't think of the word. But anyway, in their category of people. Like, to me, this is just totally superstitious. It's like we've always worn a green shirt. Everyone must wear a green shirt. And here comes somebody who wants to wear a red shirt. And it's like, how dare you bring this person with a red shirt into this family, into this tradition, into this life? And they get very threatened by it. But the universe is bringing in change, always for your betterment in mind. So go with the flow. And see, and I know some of you are listening to this, and some of you have children who are twin flames, or you have a child who has found a twin flame, and this has gone through, history forever. This has been going on. So I'm just here to say, you guys, get over it because you're trying to be blessed. Don't stick with the old traditional things. See how this is. See that you can have all the good you've always had and then some from embracing a more colorful palette. There's so many more flavors to be had, so many more spices, so much more enjoyment by introducing something new into these old traditions and these old ways. I am so grateful that some of these parents have come to me to try to open up their minds. Thank God, because I'm also hearing the sons and the daughters come to me saying, our parents won't let us be together, and it's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. So, okay, there's also reports of divine masculines over giving to their exes, like money, usually. If your ex is trying to force you to give them money when they can darn well go get it themselves, and they're just trying to manipulate you with guilt, forget about it. Set your boundaries. It's a final test for you to stand up for yourself and do what's right for you and not your future divine feminine. Do what's fair and just, but do not give them over that boundary line. In other words, if they spent it and it had nothing to do with you, they need to pay for it. Or you're saying you'll compromise and sacrifice your own needs and your own happiness, and you've made them more important and you less important. What kind of message is that giving? And enabling people doesn't serve them or you. learn not to give in to guilt in that way. Stand in your power. They need a slice of tough love, some of these karmic women. Also, there's an incredible meditation. I've shared it on my 1111 Twin Flame forum if you guys want to check it out. A friend gave it to me. It's called like So Purkh, or I don't know how you pronounce it. Somebody else would obviously say it better. But this meditation is especially for women. Reciting the So Purkh 11 times a day. It's for about 30 minutes. For up to 3 men in your life, you can attract your soulmate, raise the vibration of the men you are saying it for, helping them to live up to their fullest potential and transform your karma around men. It's one of the most profound Kundalini meditations that a woman can do. You can recite it all at once or split it up 11 recitations throughout your day. I did the initial one, and I do listen to meditations all the time, so I didn't think it would do much. But I tell you, like, just after a few seconds, I could totally feel my crown chakra, and it just, like, sucked me into this vision, this really vivid vision, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this. And the scene started to unfold before my eyes, and I didn't have the option of not going there. And so I just was sucked into this meditation. It was absolutely incredible. I ended up going through about 4 different past lives with my masculine and healing so much. And I just went through every scene and I changed the ending. That's the important part when you go through these, when you see these past lives, don't just leave them like they are. Fix it, make a different ending, create a happy ending, create a compromise, or make it not happen somehow, fix it somehow, and you will energetically fix like that. You'll jump to a different timeline. You can actually go back and change your history. It's amazing. Let's see, let go of the past, whether it be with be about your past karmic partnerships or with things you regret or hold against your twin. The karmic has nothing more to offer you but more suffering and feeling left out in the cold. So onward and upward, you guys. Say goodbye once and for all to the exes. And holding on to past pain between you and your twin only keeps you repeating the pain. This is the difference between worldly pain and godly pain. One inspires you to do something about it and uses it to fuel and expand you through epiphanies and realizations. The other allows the problem to become an excuse to stay useless and disempowered and self-pity. How's that? Okay, and something on black magic. One thing Eusebio told me on his visit is if you strongly wish something of someone against their will, like if you want your twin really, really, really bad, and some of you, by the way, that's not your twin actually, but if you're wanting something that someone's not willing to give you, even that is considered a form of black magic. And if a special healer detects and removes the target you've put on them, the karma reverses back on you and causes your life to completely fall apart. He and his mentor have seen this happen repeatedly. I just saw it happen recently. Somebody had done that to me. He found it, he reversed it, and I saw the person's life fall apart before my eyes when I returned. So, yeah, it's real. Don't use black magic, you guys, and don't wish anything upon anybody against their will. It's just not cool, even if it's unintentional. So just, be happy being by yourself, being for yourself. Love that other person, but don't try to control or force anything. You're being trained now not to be neurotic and codependent in a relationship, so learn to use tools that remove self-doubt and fear. You'll need it once you're in union. Just like with money, a relationship is only going to make you more of what you are, so heal all that you can now before you come into union to avoid a separation that will force you both to grow and mature before you're able to stay together longer term. One more thing, friendships are being pruned right now. We're gravitating toward our soul families. So graciously let go of friendships that aren't what they used to be. You're seeing things more clearly now as you grow. So will the quality of your friendships. These friends have served their purpose, so be grateful and embrace the new. Okay, there are more things I'm going to share, but I've got so many callers right now, I think I better get to some of you. So I'm just thinking, there is somebody that I said could talk here, so I'm just going to take a look and see if he's on the line yet, and he is. So let's get him on. Come on. There we go. TD, hey.
What? Hello, Amy.
Okay, so before I introduce you, I just want to say that the feminine's most frequently asked question when I'm doing these readings for them are you sure they feel that way about me? Is that maybe another girl you're picking up on? So it's like, why do you think that is? It's kind of revealing, right? I just want to say to everybody that both the divine masculine and the divine feminine in their own unique ways feel incredibly unworthy of the other person. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to invite TD on right now because he has had that feeling about his divine feminine or your counterpart. You can share a little bit about that maybe. And also you are very graciously going to share some of your story with us. And I just think it's very, very cool that you've agreed to come on today and talk about that. And I'm going to, by the way, TD's been on once before, you guys, and I'm going to post a link to that in the description of this episode. So go ahead, TD. What was it you wanted to share with us today?
Well, hey, Amy, I appreciate you including me in this. And
yeah.
Well, I mean, what I want to share is just basically my memory of when she, when my twin said to me, I knew that I wasn't good enough for you. And something really silly had happened, or I said something silly. I can't remember what caused her to say that. But she, she's like, I knew I wasn't good enough for you. And she got kind of pouty and sad. And I'm like, I was thinking, this is bizarre because I think I'm not good enough for you. And here you are saying this. And I didn't say anything. I just tried to reassure her the best I could. And I think I did I think I made her feel
better.
Good about it. I can't remember I can't remember what I said, but it was just, I remember that very vividly, how that felt, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why she felt that way. Just insecurities on a deep
we all
level,
have them.
but I don't really. Yeah, but it's really bizarre that we're both thinking the exact same thing,
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's amazing, and it's really frustrating as well,
Yeah.
Why can't we just receive,
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, let's enjoy this, Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think,
so true.
Yeah. I think that's when the confusion really started hitting us both around that time. Trying to figure out what is wrong with us and, what's going on here.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But,
so were you gonna share a little of your backstory, or was that what you were gonna share?
I'd be glad to. It's so vast. I wouldn't know where to start, but I wanted to. I remember talking to you. I wanted to share this really cool intuition moment or like afternoon I had. What really felt, I listened to my heart, and it really panned out, and everything lined up, and it felt really good. And so I'll start by saying I was down. I took a little day trip down south of where I live, about 35 minutes, and I was, I have to travel on a 4-lane highway that's pretty busy. It runs north to south, and a lot of traffic. They're going state to state, whatever. But I was just going down for a little bit. I spent an hour or two down there. I actually went and played some sports with some guys, whatever. But I was coming back. I was like in a, how you feel after you work out and sweated really hard. I felt, felt pretty good, And I was coming back up the road, coming back home, and just kind of like, glad that I made the trip down there and everything was going good. And I see it. So I'm traveling on the 4-lane highway. It's super busy on a Sunday, like midday. And I see this big white lab mix dog that had been hit and killed. It was on the shoulder. It was sad. It was on the shoulder of the road, basically like kind of on the white line on the right side. And I passed it, and just something said, "Oh, that's not right. Something's not right there," So I went up to the next turnaround, and I made the decision. I'm like, all right, I'm going back, and I'm figuring out why that dog is laying there. What's going on. And so So it took me about 5 minutes to turn around and come back through, and I just pulled up to the house. There were houses on the side of the highway there. I just pulled up to the one that was closest, right in front of the dog, and I pulled up and get out of the car, and I'm going to the front door, and this lady basically meets me at the door, and she's just really, you can tell she's really upset. She's been, she's been crying, whatever. And I said, I asked her, do you have a white lab? And she says, she's like, no, that's my neighbor's. And she was really upset. She said, I've been crying all day trying to figure out what to do with this thing. My husband's gone on a day trip golfing. The owners of the dog were at the beach. They were on a week-long vacation. She couldn't get a hold of them. And it was just like, she was so glad to see me,
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, let's take care of this thing. Let's do what we got to do here. Do you have a blanket?
That's
do you
awesome.
have a sheet? So
Mm-hmm.
I got the dog off the highway and kind of pulled it back behind her house towards her neighbors. And she had been having a hard time all day over this, trying to figure out what she can do. She didn't have any family that was really close by that could come help out. Her neighbor was being very not helpful about the situation, was wanting to call the police and have it like scooped up and taken to the landfill, and that was not what she did not want that, because it wasn't her dog, but she's seen it every day. It was a daily visitor to her place, so she was really upset.
Aww.
But anyway, so I stopped, and I actually made a big difference for this lady. I kind of saved her day in a way.
That's awesome.
And just because I felt like, I just felt like something was not right about the situation. Thousands of people were driving by and, it just made me feel really good about, being intuitive and actually following through.
That is so cool. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my thing that gives me more confidence to really pay attention to my feelings,
That is so true. I mean, we're so used to ignoring those little nudges and whatnot, but I can't tell you how many times I've turned around and listened to that, and then this person says something, and I just get chills everywhere. It's like I needed to hear that right in that moment. It's like, whoa, you're being used.
Yeah, being an angel for the day or for the moment,
Totally.
And that's like the only way to really get that confidence about you is to have those things happen. Nobody can tell you. You can't read books and really get it. Or I mean, maybe you can, but for me, I have to have something very practical, very in my, very in my face to really get it to sink, to get through, Yeah. So I just want to share that with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's so awesome. So do you have any updates for us? I gave you a reading, when was it, last week?
Yes, last week. It was earlier in the week, yeah. About, I don't know, 7 or 8 days.
How did that go?
It was good. It was a really good reading. It really was. It everything made a lot of sense, and it made me feel good about everything.
Good.
Yeah, but it's also hard to hear that stuff because you kind of it's almost like you bring it brings some things back to the surface,
That it does.
Good and bad, but everything that's brought up needs to be dealt with. So it's progress.
Yeah, you're doing really great. And it's yeah, and there's a balancing happening between the divine masculines and feminines as well, because like you were talking about listening to your intuition more, and I think some of the men are becoming more, intuitive like that, and they're learning to go into their feelings and emotions like they haven't been able to before. They're honoring their feelings. They're saying, it's okay for me to say that I feel sad. It's okay for me to cry. It's okay for me to admit that I'm scared. So it's so beautiful to see a man, growing in that way, and I see it more and more often all the time now. And these feminines are also willing to kind of step it up and take care of themselves and be individuals and make their own money and become confident in what they're doing and like grab their career by the horns. And it's like they're both doing such a great job of balancing that energy out so that we can all just kind of plug in where we're intuitively needed in any given moment. And it's not going to be so segregated as it's been through history where the woman does this and the man does that. It's like, well, what's needed in this moment and who feels the strongest pull to go do that,
Yes.
Kind of cool.
Yes,
Anyway.
breaking down the paradigms.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else?
It is, and I hope I don't sidetrack the show too bad with this, but I've been thinking about something that I wanted to ask you about, and
sure.
That is I remember there were 3, 4, 5 things about this girl that I knew, like when it hit me, that it was like I had this feeling like, oh wow, I'll never get over this certain little things about her. And nothing really sexual. It was just really, really, really childlike, playful stuff that I was like, wow, I will never get over the way she does that, And one of them being the way she pronounced my name. Nobody ever pronounced it like that, and she did it every time, and it was just like, wow. Another silly thing was the way she would articulate. She liked to sing in the car, and the way she would articulate like her hands, kind of sing with her hands in a way. And every time I see her do that, I was like, "Oh man, that's so cute! That's one of the things I'll never get over."
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I knew that. I remember thinking that in real time. I'm like, yeah. So what does that mean to you? I mean, is that anticipating like that separation period, or is that like, this girl's gonna, I'm just gonna always be thinking about those little things that she did. I'm not sure how to.
You're not sure how to deal with that.
I'm just not sure what it meant.
You mean just kind of like just taking note of it?
Well, just taking note of it and just having that feeling of, okay, I'll never get over that,
Yeah, sometimes it's like when we have something so incredible, we're afraid to lose it. So it's like you make a mental note of how incredible it is. If you lose it, then there it is again, because you could replay it a million times. And that's one thing the separation period does too, is like both twins will look back at each other and the memories that they have and play them over and over and over, and it just like gets cuter and cuter. And so yeah, it's just one way that we're kind of plagued till we're together.
Plagued.
But in a way too, though, it makes us really grateful for them. It's like I'm gonna read a little thing toward the end of the show too that kind of reiterates this. But if it wasn't for this long, grueling process of growth between us, then we wouldn't appreciate each other. We'd take each other for granted, possibly. But you have the beautiful things that you're holding on to that are going to be so special when you guys are back together again. And God forbid if either you pass away, you guys are going to have that memory. But it's not about the loss. It's about the appreciation of it. If you talk to couples who've been together like a million years, they will always tell you that they appreciated each other deeply and always express that to each other. You can't take that stuff for granted, And when you have to work this hard to earn someone, both the divine masculine and feminine go through so much self-growth to be together. And so it's like kind of an earning thing. It's like a rite of passage when you finally get to be together. It's like you're not going to go throw it away like you might have done in the past with other people. So I think it's just you're given those special things to really cherish and hold on to, and maybe list those things in a diary or something somewhere. So if you're ever ticked off at her, you can be like, "But I remember how she would sing with her hands."
Yeah.
And you can just remind yourself of how special it is, because you're going to have moments when you guys are finally in union where you're going to be pretty ticked off. I mean, these guys trigger us, so it'd be a good idea to write all that down, or keep a tally of those special moments, and when they say special things to you, and just keep that in a special place where you would go running if you were mad, and like take out that list and read it all off just to get you back in that good feeling space. But does that help at all?
It does. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, and it's I guess more than anything, I kind of knew what I was in for, like pain-wise, or what I was gonna have to go through.
Mm.
And that was
that's your intuition right there too. By the way, that was your intuition going. Oh,
right. That's what I'm saying. I knew that at some point this was going to hurt like crazy, but for right now, I'm not worried about that. I'll deal with it when it comes, and I put it off to the very, put it off till I just absolutely had to deal with it, and it hurt really bad all at once. Yeah.
There is a name for that.
Procrastination.
It's called falling in love.
Falling in love. I got you. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And it's a rabbit hole, and there's no getting out of it. You get sucked in. You can scream all you want. You could claw the sides of the hole, but you're going down.
Right. Yeah, there was no escaping it. I knew it was coming, and just tried to ignore it. But I had those feelings that and even one time I was looking at her, and I had to look away because it was like, gosh, this is going to hurt like hell when she, when the eventual separation comes. I didn't know back then, but I just knew that I had there was a lot of pain in my future.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Well, just cherish it, and and just act like it's still happening now. Instead of missing it, just be like, I love that about her, or I love that about him. Just think of it fondly and cherish it, and don't try not to make it so. I mean, the pain is supposed to be there to draw you guys back together, but try to really try to always see everything in the best light possible, so that you're not putting yourself through unnecessary suffering. There's an exercise that I always recommend for people to do, and that can be part of it. You attract what you think about and put your attention on the most. So I like to just walk along, if I'm walking to work or walking home or something, and I just like to say, like, I love sunsets. I love fresh air. I love fall air. I love Halloween. I love, and you can just go through everything that you love about life. Even if you don't have it right now, you can say, I love the way she this, and I love the way that. And you can say, I love sleeping in my big fluffy bed with a big smile on my face. I love, everything that you can think of that you love about your life or have loved about your life. Even if it's you can honor people of the past, a grandma who's passed away, or even somebody you were with before that you really enjoyed doing things with, even reminisce about that stuff, but make it not about missing them, but about how you love those things. Like, I love traveling around the world with someone special. I love, going out to dinner at sunset. I love, going fishing with someone at 4 a.m. And I love, just make it not about the person, but make it about the experience and how much you enjoyed doing that. And I think that's the healthiest thing you can do with those types of memories.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, start making a list, because someday you'll be mad and you'll be glad you got it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got some calls to get to, so if you don't mind, I'll put you on mute.
Thank you, Amy. I'm here listening.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, thanks.
And hello.
Hi, Amy. It's Monique.
Monique, hey, how you doing, girl?
Hi. How are you? I haven't called in a little bit, so I thought I would call tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have any updates?
Well, I do. It's more of a metaphysical question. So I wanted to share, actually, about 4 months ago in May, I felt as if I'd injured one of my ankles, yet absolutely nothing had happened to it. It came out of nowhere. And I'm a really practical person. I make sure to wear comfortable shoes and all that. I know that I hadn't twisted my foot in any way, so I'm sure it wasn't anything like that. And so I started thinking, what the heck is going on? And so every now and again, from May until actually like today, I've had these infrequent ankle issues, and I've been very careful with my ankles ever since it started. And I am in infrequent communication with my twin's daughter on social media. Again, we don't communicate that often. And I did learn over the summer, I think it was around the 4th of July, that her dad had injured his foot. And I didn't ask which one or anything. I just asked if he was okay. And, we really didn't go into it too much. And so I wanted to ask you a two-part question tonight, and thank you in advance for any help. But my question, the first part is, how common is it for twins to feel each other's physical pain, especially when in separation? And the second part is, could you tonight maybe feel into this at all, into our situation?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very common. In fact, a lot of them actually have the same physical ailments, diseases, all kinds of things. It's craziness. So that's very common, and it's very likely in your case. But the first thing that I got about that had to do with ascension symptoms. So I think that it's both. And I think for both of you, it's ascension symptoms. I would venture to guess that, I just got a yes too, that if you inquire about this, you're going to find out that that it's true that he is also having issues with his ankle. So let me feel into it for just a moment and see what else I can get here. Okay, so this is about a fear of moving forward in such a way that is flexible and fluid. It's kind of like you feel like when you guys try to go forward, it's going to be choppy, and like another blockage is going to come and another blockage is going to come. You guys have gone, like, I know your history, and you guys have gone many, 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 many years. And it's been like 30-something years. So
yeah, we met 31 years ago. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are used to things getting in the way. So I think for both, I don't know.
I'm giggling because you could not be more true in that statement. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's So I think that's maybe his fear in coming forward at this time. I think he's ready to come. It really just feels he has such a childlike energy right now. It's really cute. It's like he wants to come forward with you. He wants to actually make something happen, but there's something about it that's just making him so afraid of blockages that'll happen. It's like, but what if? And one thing we all have to understand is we will have those blockages and things, but it's the way we view them that make all the difference. We're never going to get things will always tempt to fear us. To make what I said that like really screwy, but things will always come about that will kind of entice us to be afraid. Always. But we have the option to stand firm in whatever we believe and how we want to look at it, and twist it around and change the perspective around to where it actually empowers us, no matter what it is. So in his case, he could choose the belief that I don't care what comes up as an obstacle. I'm not going to see it as any big deal. I'm just going to move right through it and find a solution. If you believe that, it'd be like no big deal, right? And if you both believe that, and you both like get in cahoots about this, and you're like, hey, let's make this happen, then you guys can both plot and plan, and as things go along, I almost feel like he feels like you would bail if the littlest thing went wrong. And no, it's like these twins, they're really committed to each other. I mean, it's like they're both afraid that the other's not going to be as committed or as into it or as, I don't know, we're just all afraid in our own way. They're not going to be as cool as we are about stuff or something. I don't know. So it's like, little does he know that you'd just be like, dude, forget that. Let's just soar right on over that lump. Who cares about this stupid hole in the cement? Let's just go the other way. So it's like, he just needs to get past that fear. Let me send some energy to your ankle for a second. Hang on.
Thank you.
Let me see what else it'll say to me. That little talk actually made it feel better.
I'm trying.
And
Go ahead, tell me.
Well, it's also been, the message has been conveyed through your ankle to his ankle as well. So his ankle's also relieved. And so I'm going to send the message to all ankles listening that everything's going to be okay. It may not even go smooth, but that's okay. One step at a time. We will overcome.
Well, I had researched, physical manifestations and metaphysical into physical, right? Manifestations, and there was something that I found that basically talked about, like, if it happens, ankle specifically, it means like you're stepping in a new direction was one of the answers. And I had shared in a few episodes back, like I went back to school and all these things, right? So I've had all these like really exciting and wonderful things that I've been doing to, again, develop my life further. So I originally thought, this pain is, and when I read that article, I thought, the pain means I'm going, I'm advancing in my formal education, and I'm, doing what I need to do at work and doing well there. But then I went a little more deeply in my own heart, and I thought, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm feeling, something that's happened to him. And again, this happened in May, and I learned about his injury in July through his daughter. So I don't know if perhaps, who the heck knows, right? But I have in my heart, I feel like, I'm like, oh, dude, like, go help yourself. I don't know what's happening with your body. Like, please go help yourself. And his daughter was very clear and said, my dad is very stubborn and he won't get it checked out.
Well, you just did, because whatever you get done to yourself, it's going to affect your twin as well. And like I said, when I worked on your ankle, it went to his too. So it's usually I have to get permission from the person that I'm working on in order to go into their field and work on them. But in a situation where you guys are twin flames, whatever gets worked on with one, it's just automatically going to help the other. So, I don't even really need to ask permission. It's just kind of done. So,
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And if I know you probably have. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
One more time.
I said, report back when you hear that he's all healed now.
I will. I will.
And if it starts to hurt again, if it starts to act up again, it probably has something else to say. So just text me and let me know, or message me or whatever, and just feel like my ankle's acting up right now. Put the pain on a scale.
Oh no!
Put the pain.
Well, I've been trying to be
on a scale of 1 to 10, and then
Are you
what'll
asking
happen?
Me?
No, I'm telling you what to do in the future. If your ankle hurts again, then what you do is you message me and let me know what's going on, and then you let me know on a pain scale where you're at. And then when I get to it, I'll let you know, and then you can tell me how it's doing, and I'll let you know any message that comes through from your ankle. Okay?
Thank you for that. Thank you. And I wanted to say real quickly before your next caller that, when you mentioned blockages, my twin is in a karmic relationship right now. And I know that when we were in communication, which was 2 years ago, the last time I heard his voice, one of the things that he had said off and on was, he would mention this karmic. And I think perhaps she's really, and experience and the lessons that he's learning right now being in this karmic relationship, I feel offer multiple blockages, right? Or blockages that he might see as interfering with moving forward. So I just wanted to put that piece out there for anybody else who might be in separation with their twin and experiencing these blockages or what appear to be blockages, So,
well, yeah, just also one thing that you can do if you have no idea what's going on in your twin's life is you can just balance your chakras on a regular basis, so at least you're in your power, and you'll help your twin to be in their power, so that no matter what's going on in their life, they'll be able to go forward from it, and they'll have the confidence to leave that situation or whatever they need in order to heal from that situation and leave. And I did get a message when you were talking about how he was still with someone. I heard not for long. When your heart's calling you like this, it's like
I know,
like you're, I don't know, going against gravity, and you can only do it for so long. You have to ultimately give in to the emotional gravity of the situation. And I know it's been 30-something years of ignoring this, so you can imagine. Oh, my gosh.
Well, Amy, thank you so much. I want to give other folks a chance, but I really, really appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, of course. I'm so glad you called in. Thanks.
Oh,
Keep me posted.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, and hello.
Hi, Amy. Hi, it's Julie.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Well, I found out Nate is expecting to see me tonight. He didn't call, but he's waiting for me to show up somewhere, and I'm on my way there right now.
Oh, wow. Yay.
So I'm hoping that, go ahead.
But just to give the listeners a little background on you, too, I told you that he would be communicating with you soon, and he did. But unfortunately, he only talked to you for about 10 minutes and then made some kind of excuse up about how his phone was going in and out or something, so he'd call you back, and then he didn't call you back. And then I told you that he would call back, or that you guys would be talking again soon. So now, did he call you, or did you call him, or what happened this last time?
No, so one of my good friends is at a dinner, and I'm supposed to be going to this dinner, and Nate knows that I'm going to be arriving at this dinner, so he's there. He's there right now, waiting for me to show up.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, is it going to go okay? Is he going to talk to me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course.
Is he going to tell me everything?
That's going to depend on whether you guys get some time alone. And I'm not sure he's really in the mood to go deep tonight. He might just kind of want to warm up to you right now. So if I were you, I would go the playful route, just make things really light. And, I wouldn't go try to get too deep on him tonight unless it's his initiation. So just be lighthearted and safe to approach. And if he pulls you aside and says, I really need to talk to you, then totally. But I wouldn't push the issue. If you guys have a neat little talk and whatnot, and it seems to be going really well, just maybe encourage him, say whatever that was that you wanted to say to me then the other night. I'm really happy to hear it sometime. So why don't you maybe try to nail down a time? Be like, I'll be off work Wednesday at 8 or whatever. If you want to give me a call then, we might be able to talk, huh? Just try to encourage that. I wouldn't, put too much weight on it, but yeah.
Yeah. Is he wanting to see? Is that why he's there? Is he wanting to see me?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, because he doesn't feel to me like he even wants to be social tonight.
So really? So he's doing that just for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I hope I look okay. Can you tell how I look over the phone?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, you look great. Of course.
Do I?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I like your hair.
Oh, thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
That was, yeah, I just wanted to call and confirm that, yeah, you're right. You're so right about the communication, but, it's different. He's waiting to see me in person than over the phone. So I'll take it. I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. He's in a good mood. I just think you just make him feel safe. That's all. Just make him feel safe and see where it goes.
And you still think he's in love with me and all that good stuff? I just wanted to hear it.
Okay, let me just tell all the divine feminines that are listening right now, they will never, ever, ever change their minds. And
are you sure?
If it's your twin flame, if it is your twin flame, it's like God himself is like forcing the two of you to love each other, period. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship if one of you is refusing, but I mean, there is an intense magnetism that happens and an unconditional love between these two that are like, this is what Romeo and Juliet were made of, and The Notebook, and all of that stuff. I mean, this is the real deal. This isn't a karma. This isn't, this is the real stuff. And I'm going to read something later that kind of talks about this as well. But yeah, thanks for calling, and I'm glad you shared this moment with us. This is exciting. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I'll see you Saturday, and I'll let you know.
Okay, yay. I'm glad you guys are talking.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, and hello.
Hello.
I need to come up with something better to say than hello.
Hello?
I mean, I do mean hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, can I help you with something? Por favor.
Hello?
Can you not hear me now?
I think I can.
What?
Yes. Hi,
Okay.
Amy.
All right. Let's give this a go as best we can. And if I can't, if we can't make it happen, I'll just go to the next call, okay?
Okay, no problem. Oh, my gracious. I'm so sorry, Amy. This is Letty.
So that's fine. Hey, Letty. What up?
Well, you were correct that we would be in communication within 2 weeks. However, it wasn't him. I broke down. I had to be the one to do it.
Oh, well, sometimes you have to listen to your intuition on that.
Well, there's a partial reason because now I'm confused which one it is because there's somebody I met with the same name that I've known about the same amount of time. So now I'm confused as to which one it is.
Oh, well, okay, all right. So I want you to think of them, like give them different names in your mind.
Okay.
Name? Figure out a way to differentiate them. Like, does one have a dog and the other doesn't? Or picture them just different in your mind and put one on the left and put one on the right. Okay?
Okay. All right.
You can see them clearly differently now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just keep that image in your mind, and I am going to tell you which one feels more like a twin flame to me.
Okay.
The one on the right.
Okay. Thank you. That was helpful.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I had a really weird experience over the weekend, and I'm like, oh, wait, whoa. And then not realizing his name and telling me his name, I'm like, oh my. So yeah, it was a little weird experience. Okay. First conversation, we had a discussion, and you said about calling in, so that's what I'm doing. I'm confused about. I don't want to say confused, but I have struggles with the concept of past lives. I mean, obviously, I realize they exist, but you said about calling in so we could discuss this, because I'm it's like a paradox to me. It's like I get it exists, but for some reason my dogma of my childhood is telling me it's not real. So you call in, we'll talk about it.
Great. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for following up.
Awesome.
Okay, so is it just the concept of past lives, or is it the confidence in knowing what you're seeing of the past lives, or what exactly is your question?
Well, the confidence in it. I've been told countless different times, this was in your past life, this is in your past life, but I don't know. Maybe I have received, some sort of notification, but I'm dismissing it because I was always told that it doesn't exist.
Okay. It totally exists. It's very real. But it doesn't have to be like, oh gosh. It's like, how do you explain this? Okay. So there are these, if you look at your soul is timeless. It's always existed because everything is energy, and it's always been energy. It's always going to be energy. You just happen to be in this Letty person right now, but you're not actually Letty. You're the soul. You're like the beingness beyond this personality. You just happen to have the parents you did and grow up in this body like you did, and we were told a line about who you are and what the society expects of you and all of that. And it kind of shapes and grooms you and puts you through all these different experiences to help grow you as a soul. So, when people say, like, you're an old soul, you've experienced all these different experiences that have made you kind of like a wise person versus somebody who's just kind of naive and runs out there and easily gets convinced of things, or is just kind of looks like an idiot, and you're just like, how is this person even making it in this world, So that's the difference between, like, and sometimes I will say, sometimes those idiot people were dogs or something like that didn't have an experience of a human experience yet. So they're like, they pop in this body and they're like, holy crap, what do I do with this? Like, this is like, oh, wow. I just want to go lick somebody. So, it's like it goes so much further back, and when you're able to tap into a past life, you got to be really open-minded, and it's really not about the past life or who you were in it necessarily, but the experiences that come to your mind. Because the way that I see it, when I close my eyes and I try to communicate with whatever it is that's there, and it could be a past life, or it could be a spirit or an angel or whoever it is. When you tap into the other side, the unseen realm, whatever it is they're trying to show you is something that is pertinent. It's something that your attention needs to be drawn to in order to heal some kind of an element that, you need to work on. Hitler, whoever he is now, he would be like, if he were to he might have a real struggle with certain things that really trigger him, and then he'd go to some past life hypnotist or something, and then they'd say, oh gosh, I see all these people, blah, 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 and he would not want to look at it, but, if he were to, and he were to have a good cry, and he were to look at it, and maybe go back to that past life and, like, release everybody and have a change of heart and change the world through making it all different. And it's like it actually impacts the whole entire collective of the planet. And whatever we all work on individually, now this is just on such an energetic level. So if you're somebody who's being abused and you decide, I'm not going to take this anymore, I'm walking away from this relationship, you've just also helped a million other people to do the same thing that's in that same situation and circumstance. It works the same in past lives, because it's like I'm getting really deep here, but like all time doesn't really even exist. It's all going at the same exact time. I've seen overlapping where I go into a past life and it's actually happening at the same moment as this life is. and they're interlapping, and they're even communicating. The person that they are in the past is actually talking to them right now, like trying to help them with the situation they're going through. And it's just craziness. You just got to have a real open mind about how all this works. And it's really hard for us to fathom because we're so used to time, the way we look at it as really linear, and this has to happen first, and then that happens in the future. But time travel totally exists. So do past lives and all that stuff. But it's more like I use it as a tool to help me heal things, just like anything else. I look at every single experience in my life as being a learning tool, and I use it to catapult me forward into peace and freedom. That's what I want, peace and freedom in my mind. I want love. So I create it. And so, like, when I had that past life with me, when I listened to that meditation, I saw this scene, and what I saw, when I didn't want to see it, is I saw a big horse laying in a meadow. And my divine masculine looked different in that past life, different than he looks now. And he was crying and sobbing and like laying on this horse, like hugging its neck, crying and crying. And somehow I knew it was my fault. And honestly, it's like what I was seeing was just the meadow and the horse laying in it, him and him crying. And I didn't even know if it was my masculine. I didn't know who the horse was or anything. I just saw it, and I kind of looked away, and I was like, oh, yes, what a nice, lovely meditation. I actually tried to ignore it about 3 times, and when they kept showing it to me, I was like, damn it. So I was like, all right, what is this? Who is that horse? Who is that guy? And then I looked, and I was like, dang, I know that feeling. That's my masculine. And I was like, why is he crying? And why do I feel like it's my fault? And, it turns out that he got on the horse. It was his best friend. He loved that horse so much. The name of the horse came to me, and it was his best friend. And I was shown the history with the horse and how much they loved each other. And he was coming after me to be with me. He was going away from his family and all that he knew to have a life with me. And somebody shot the horse on his way out. And and I'm watching it from the woods, like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just, I didn't even want to face him. I was like, I'm responsible for his horse dying. And here's the crazy thing. The horse that died ends up being the girl that he just broke up with. So I'm going, whoa. I was like, well, their names are awfully similar. What's happening here? I was like, was that the horse's name? And does this have some kind of a, what's happening? And so I asked, like, is there a correlation? They were like, yes, she was that horse. And I'm like, okay. So, wow. I don't know, because I don't talk to him. I don't know what that's about or why, how that comes into play. But it might explain something to him. I don't know. But for me, I just went through, and I was like, look, he's not dead. He's an energy being, and he's alive with us here and now. And we all hugged and we petted him, and he was so beautiful, and he was alive and well, and everything was good. And I pretty much just brought everything all back to life and good. And I was like, we can all be good, We had a good cry, and we petted the horse, and everything was cool. And I just asked the universe, did we fix it? Is everything better? And I felt good about it. I didn't feel all that shame and guilt anymore. He felt better that the horse was alive and well, and everybody seemed happy, and the scene just started to slowly fade. And then I asked, is there anything else I need to take a look at? At that point I was like, well, I'm in it, so may as well keep looking, so then I had another life pop up, and it just, you can cleanse this life by life like that. And there's just major ones that are in the way, because it's like your twin is still going to have that fear of what happened in that life, kind of subconsciously sabotaging the situation, keeping you from, so little did he know that he had that in the back of his mind. If I go take off after her, my horse is going to get shot. My best friend is going to get shot. So, when you do that, sometimes it really cleans the situation up. It's not necessary, though, Because if you know how to do something like Byron Katie's work or something like that, where you can actually just deal with the emotions and see the neutrality of situations and how you're causing your own suffering, if you have tools like that, and if you need tools, you can go to my resources tab on my website, amysatori.com. You can take a look at any number of different tools you can use, but when you learn to, you can do it so many different ways. It's not necessary to do a past life thing, but it sure does. It can be a quick shortcut. I whipped through like 4 different past lives with him, healed everything, and some really cool things happened that day. So it was neat. So yeah. It's very beneficial. It's not necessary, but it is beneficial. If you can cultivate that tool and learn to tap into your intuition like that, it will also like enhance your intuition. So trust what you're seeing, and don't make a big deal of, oh, I was Cleopatra. Oh, I was Queen whoever, Sheba. No, don't make it an egoic thing, because that's the other thing too, is a lot of these historical figures like Jesus and Cleopatra and all those guys, like they it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but they have a consciousness to them too that can tap into like a million people at the same time. And so you resonate with them somehow. You're part of their soul family or something. So you might even have a past life where you are them, but you're not really them. You're just going through what they went through so you could experience what they experienced, so that you could relearn that lesson again, because it's going to help you now. So it's not all about you being Cleopatra. It's about Cleopatra somehow is helping you tap into her consciousness at that time and go through that experience, so that you can kind of rebirth yourself and have an epiphany that will help you go forward now with more confidence and with a softer, more open heart, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I hope.
Sure, absolutely. But who doesn't want to be Cleopatra? I mean, seriously.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, so, yeah. It's just all about healing.
Okay, well, that actually explains things that recently, and so we had a talk 2 weeks ago, because since then some things have, come about, and now with all of what you said, it makes sense.
Awesome. Good. That's what it's all about. And that's why they had you follow through and help me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but that means I was the bad person last time. So.
Well, that's the thing too, that a lot of it's sometimes. And here's another thing I'll mention just real quickly, because we have so many more calls to get to, and I will get to you guys who are listening. Thank you so much for having patience. There is. Sometimes we'll look back at even things that happen in this life, and we're like, upset about it. And like, say, some of us have had like psychopath exes and stuff like that. Learn to be grateful for those exes, because they, like, as a soul, it's like they didn't want to come down and be the abuser. Maybe you were the abuser in a past life, and now it's his turn, and he thinks it really sucks. But he loves you enough to come down and give you that experience, so that you can then learn how to stand up for yourself and, speak up and establish boundaries and realize your worth. So, learn to value all of it, anything in the past, and let it fuel you. Let it make you stronger.
Absolutely. No, that's a beautiful thing, and I hope everybody who needs to hear that hears that, because that's very true.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to come down here and be the a-hole, or the bee in it. But they did it because they love you.
I own being a bee, so.
Well, thank you for being so gracious that you would be a bee in this life.
Well, no, there's only certain ways. I don't go that bad. I mean, come on. Just, I stepped into my own, and, I have my own power. I know it now.
And it's funny because we act different with different people too. If you guys have noticed, like, whatever karmic you're with and you plug into, one of them you'll want to cheat on, the other one you would never do that to, And why do you think that is? Why is there that difference between how you would treat one and how you treat the other? And it's got to do with the soul tracks and what you've come here to do, so that you guys can learn and grow as souls. Yeah. So anything else?
I think that might be it, just based on our conversation, because I know you said you were going to tap into that. So but I think you actually kind of did, because things have channeled since then. So thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Have a good night. I'll put you back on mute.
Thank you.
Okay. And hello.
Hey, Amy, it's Rachel.
Rachel, how you doing?
Good. So I went on that date with, I don't even know if he's my soulmate or what, but I went on a date with Cameron, and it went really well, I thought. And then we talked yesterday and today a little bit, and I was, hey, when are we going to hang out again? I would love to spend more time with you. And he asked me the question of, Rachel, are you trying to date me? And it just triggered something for me, because I was like, crap, I'm being friend zoned in every way with every guy because my twin is friend zoning me. And so I don't know, I'm not sure, I've been very confused in the past, since that night happened, because it was just, it was beautiful. I've never had this kind of experience before, with a new person, right? I've known Devin for 15, 16 years, so our relationship is so different and more passionate and powerful. But when it was with Cameron, he's brand spanking new acquaintance, and there was so much in common, and I was looking down at the menu, and I was looking I don't really like anything on this menu. I hope he orders Brussels sprouts. And I looked up at him, and he looked at me, and he said, we'll order Brussels sprouts. And it was just I don't know, just we were just vibing. But he basically dates supermodels. And at the end of the night, I don't know how we got on the topic of soulmates, but we were talking about that, in Los Angeles, where I'm from, is very it's very hard to date here, because everybody has to be super gorgeous and everybody's superficial. And he was like, I know what my soulmate looks like. I see her there. I know who she is, but I get constantly distracted. And then I said, okay, well, what does your soulmate look like? And he started describing her, and was basically describing me. And I think he noticed that I was noticing him describe me. And he just was yeah, but I get distracted by all these really pretty girls. He's 9 years older than me. He's traveled the world. He's dated a lot of different people. He's never been married, and all this sort of stuff. And so when he texted me saying Rachel, are you trying to date me? I just texted him back and was listen, I just really enjoy spending time with you, and I want to get to know you more. It's not necessarily that I want to date you. I just really want to, I enjoy spending time with you. And he was okay, smiley face, thumbs up. And so I don't know how to feel about all of this, and I don't know, is he my soulmate? Is he my twin flame? And Devin's not? I'm just so confused. So I just wanted to see if you could kind of feel into any of that and give me any kind of insight.
Yeah, and it's so funny because, so I am 45 years old, and I think I've been broken up with once. And he apologized for it years later and said he didn't mean to. So my track record is I don't get friend zoned. I don't get broken up with. I don't get told no. I don't get rejected or anything. And in the past year, I have had 3 really big rejections. And now I don't mean that as in similar to what you went through, sort of. I had a soulmate that kind of got cold feet. I had a best friend that I had fallen in love with, but I will tell you, as soon as he said that, I don't want to go there. I don't see that happening between us. 2 months later, he admitted he loved me, and we still message on a regular basis. And yeah, he's tried to kiss me, and so that there's definitely potential there. I mean, it could easily happen between us, kind of thing. So don't believe them. Number one, and number two, the other soulmate that had rejected me and said kind of the same thing, who was just like, well, la la la, and was being really wishy-washy, and so. I don't mess around with that. I'm just like, okay, have a nice life. Ever since, like, I've looked at his cards, and his cards are like, damn it, what did I do? So the cards reveal everything. I hate to, like, blow the whistle on it all, but the cards reveal that he is definitely coming back for me with a vengeance, and soon. And he is he's got definite feelings for me. And being that he and I have had a very passionate time together, unbelievably passionate, probably the most passionate experience I've had, that could be ignited quick. So just saying that, this rejection thing is so silly, and the friend thing is just really silly. So don't take it personally, you guys. If you get rejected, just see that they're not ready, that they're just, if they try to friend zone you, they're just not ready, because they're still being all wishy-washy, and you don't have to stay in friend zone. Move on, go to somebody who's ready for that. I mean, I don't know which one of these guys is going to show up for me first, but it's all about to happen. and I'm feeling it, and I'm like, turning around, like looking in all directions any second, because I'm just like, who the heck is it going to be, and who am I going to give into? Because I'm ready for something to happen. So, don't be, realize that if anybody ever rejects you, for one, if it is an authentic rejection, it's not about you, so you can't take it personal anyway, because whatever somebody thinks of you is what they actually think of themselves. So, and number two, if they're lying to you, which they most likely are, then they're just, not grown up enough. They're not man enough to just say that, hey, let's just get to know each other. You don't have to throw that word out there. Let's just get to know each other. What are you so scared of? These guys, some of these guys are so scared. And I will tell you, I know supermodels, and they are not getting dates either, girl. They're not getting dates either. They're not getting hit on. They're walking around down the streets of LA, and nobody's even noticing they're there. Trust me. They're not getting, nobody is like, these men are just scared right now. They're just scared. And it ultimately, if you are pulling on their heartstrings, no matter what you look like and what they try to find, just let them go out there and try to find what they think they're going to find. They're just going to hit a dead end when they keep comparing them to you. So don't worry about it. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you whether you even want to get to know him at that point. Once he sticks you in that zone, maybe just write him off for now. If you feel like going ahead and getting to know him, go ahead. But you got other options. You don't even know what he is at this point. Maybe that's best. So just go with whoever's saying yes right now, and just see what goes. You just don't. I mean, soulmates are cool. Obviously, twin flames are the best, but there are other options. So,
well, it's funny because. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say that's part of your experience. What you've needed to experience as well to grow as a person. You've just needed to. Maybe you needed to feel rejected so that you'd, like for me, I don't even care about getting rejected anymore. I just kind of laugh at the thought of it ever happening again. I'm just like, oh, here we go again. It's like I wouldn't even think of it being about me, because you can't let it affect your self-esteem.
Right. It's so funny because I had thought, oh, this guy's my soulmate, this guy is the one, whatever, but jokingly we're like, but he'll never go for me. He's like a millionaire and he has all these girls after him, and I was just always like, nah, it never happened. And then I was, talking to Devin because Devin's my was my gay best friend at the time. Like, I didn't see him in that light of being my lover. And, you know, because he, you know, didn't come out as bi to me until we were talking about it. And it, like, triggered something for Devin that then got him to be like, wait a second. And then all this stuff happened with Devin, and then Devin friend-zoned me. And then all of a sudden, when Devin friend-zoned me, this guy shows back up and is, like, calling me, talking to me about all these different things, and is like, hey, let's go out Friday night. We should go to dinner. So I automatically assume, because I like him, that he likes me back, and that it's a date, and it's the whole event is, like, beautiful. It's totally like a date. And then, like, he texted me saying that, and I just was like, it's not that he rejected me. It was like he was playing like he thought that wasn't a date, but it totally was. And
some of these guys are used to being players too. And some of them know what that's going to do to you, and they think it's going to make you want them more. I don't know. Some of them are just playing games. But if they don't, honestly, it's like if a guy doesn't come to me with authenticity and with his heart on his sleeve, forget it. You know, who wants to play around?
It's so funny, and, like, I actually, because Devin's my best friend, so, like, obviously he called me and was like, how did the date go? Because he knew that I was, like, going out to dinner with this guy. And, you know, like, I told him or whatever, and then, like, I called him when he texted me, and I was like, I don't know what to say to this guy, like, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to say. He's like, yeah. He's like, Rachel, this guy isn't interested in you. And he gets, like, all, like, defensive and, like, angry. He's like, I don't understand, you know. And it's so funny. I mean, it's hard.
Well,
I think it's just because, like,
it's funny.
I have to wait.
Well, with that, you know, that soulmate that rejected me, it was really funny because, like, a month before that, I told him, you know, I don't want you coming around anymore. You know, and he was like, all right, okay, I won't, you know. And I was just kind of shaking my head going, yeah, whatever, just go. You know, I don't even want you in my life. And so he was like, okay, fine. And so he left, and that wasn't even like, I don't even remember what that was even over. I think I was just holding out for my twin, and I think that I just knew that if he even touched me, I'd go there because the passion was off the charts. So I was like, don't even be around me right now. So I just told him, just get away from me. And he stayed away for like a month and came back full force. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm just your friend. and then, you know, he does that. And then he's all, well, I want to hang out with you more, and I want to go to the park, and I want to do this, and you know, let's, you know, and then he starts making plans and things. And then all of a sudden, when I showed interest in maybe hanging out back, then it became like, oh, well, you know, we're just friends. And it's like, oh, okay. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Can we have a man call in to describe what that is, what that means?
Right?
That's insane. All right. Well, thank you, Amy, so much. I so appreciate it. And for all the listeners, please do go to her Facebook group. I mean, we have such a good time in there, and, you know, so appreciative of everything you do for us.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is somebody there? Hi.
Hello?
Hi. Who am I talking to?
Hi. My name's Roshni. I'm actually calling from Canada, so I'm really happy I'm actually online to talk to you.
Hey.
So my question is, I just want to know if the guy that I'm not with him right now, we're in separation, but I wanted to know if he is my twin flame. We have been in an on and off again relationship for about 4 years. We broke up about 7 months ago. We still have contact. We do talk. We kind of met in I guess it was a pretty bad situation when we met. I was with somebody else, and we ended up being intimate. And I was living with the other guy, and I had told the guy that I was seeing, that I would break up with him, which was really hard for me to do. Eventually, I did end up breaking up with him. So what happened after that was the new guy, which I think is my twin flame, his name is Will. Will basically had a lot of resentment towards me, a lot of anger built up towards me because he felt like I cheated on him. Even though he knew from the very beginning I was with somebody. So right now we are just trying to, I guess, I'm trying to help him overcome it or help him get past it.
Are you done with the first guy?
Oh, a long time ago, yeah. It's been 4 years. It's done. Okay. Yeah. So we
just want to repair things with this other guy?
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I don't need to. We're actually, we're friends. We talk. But basically, I just wanted to know if Will is my twin flame. He's the one that I met 4 years ago. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me both of the guys' names.
Okay. So the first guy,
just the first name,
I was living with. Okay. Yeah, Mike. And the second guy, his name is Will. He's the one that I'm assuming is my twin flame.
Okay, hang on just a minute. The first one's definitely a karmic.
Yeah.
Okay, and Will, hang on a second. Let me see. I don't know. I'm not getting a real clear indicator. Do you get any signs and synchronicities with him?
Yes. The 1111, a lot of triple numbers. I've actually written a letter to the universe asking to see 2 white swans. I waited a while, didn't see it, kind of just let go. And recently I saw it twice. Actually, today I saw it again. Because I was sort of questioning myself. Yeah, I was questioning myself whether, all can't be true. And boom, it just popped up. And I just saw 2 white swans. Not just that, and I get the feeling, even, we both say this, it seems like a Romeo and Juliet kind of story, or we feel like home when we're together, or just, I don't know how to explain this feeling, but it's just very, very intense. Yeah.
Okay, let me just talk to his higher self for just a second. He said, "You bet I am her twin." He said he's all defensive.
Okay.
He's like, "I don't know why this is not totally clear to you."
Okay.
So he believes he's your twin anyway. That was funny. I've never seen anybody do that before. Okay, so let me just talk to him about the situation.
Sure.
He's saying you need to come to me I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so he's like, she's got to come to me really clear. We got to clear this up. He's talking about sitting down face to face, having a heart to heart with you. He definitely wants to do that. He's hurt, but he also wants to get past it. He wants to be with you. He does want this to go forward. So
yeah, I figured.
Yeah,
I kind of do that.
It kind of has the feel to it, maybe that you might be the masculine, and he might be the feminine.
The feminine, yes.
So you would be the one that was running away, and he was always chasing you, and then finally he gave up and just kind of waited for you to come around.
Basically, in the beginning. Now it's more him running and I'm doing the chasing.
That happens sometimes.
Yes, and it's very frustrating.
Well, it's good in a way because it helps you guys both experience the other person's point of view.
Okay.
It's like I mean, I've even known like one twin will cheat on the other and the other ends up not even meaning to get back at them or anything, but they just like kind of accidentally cheat too. And then all of a sudden it's like they both feel better about it because they both had it happen and they understand and they're just kind of like, oh, well, I kind of feel stupid, don't you? Yeah, I kind of feel stupid too. Well, let's move on. And so, you know, I mean, not to downplay cheating, but just saying, you know, that sometimes these balancing things happen if they need to in order. It's the way that the universe kind of makes it to where you guys have compassion for each other and see equally. So, yes, sometimes it does kind of turn, but ultimately you guys love each other, so you're going to be together. It's just more a matter of both of you being in a really receptive state, being open, and keeping communication open and being really honest about your feelings. That's the most important part. Like these guys who are friend zoning and doing stuff like that, like they need to just be like, you know, I do really like you, but I want to also see other people. So, you know, that kind of thing. And so you can be like, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm not going to like necessarily stick around and wait for you, but you know, but you know, I'm glad to know that we both know where each other's coming from. You know, it's just about being clear with each other. So I think, let me see. I think they're wanting you to make an effort right now.
Oh,
what was
really?
the last thing that happened? Yeah, I think it might be your turn. I think it might be your turn. I'm feeling that.
Okay. The thing is that we work together. We work in the same place. So here and there, I do end up running into him. Whenever we run into each other, we always give each other a hug and we talk for a little bit. But what happens is that any other type of communication on the phone or through just texting, it seems he's very, very angry. A lot of his words it's very hurtful to the point where I've told myself, okay, I need to, you know, put some boundaries, and if they're going to be hurtful messages, I'm not going to respond to them. So I have tried being there for him.
Well, can you say, I really want us to sit down and sort this out? I want us to be really honest with each other, and I want to move past what's happened. I realize you're really hurt, but I honestly want to make amends and reconcile this situation. So it's important, I think, that we take a couple hours and sit down and hash this out. Can you do that?
I have. I have done that. Most recently, we spoke for about an hour or so, face-to-face, because I've told him that I've had enough of this, you know, blaming and pointing fingers, and that I just wanted to sit and talk. And it did help. But mind you, he is 9 years younger than me, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Nah. No, I say that just because it's like age nothing really matters. Age, race, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't matter. They can step it up, you know. But, I mean, it is a matter of immaturity, but you can be immature and 60-something years old, too. I mean, I know guys with commitment issues, or masculines, I should say, that have commitment issues at 60-something years old that are still playing games. And they still think they're, like, super hot when they're not anymore. And they still have that whole air about them of being better than. So, and it's really just insecurity. In all honesty, I mean, that whole player thing and trying to act like, you know, you're beneath them, or maybe they don't, you know, want to get serious about you or something like that, that's just them running away from themselves and not facing their demons, basically. It's them not feeling worthy of you, and it's like that classic projection. They feel like they only deserve to be your friend, so they're putting you in friend zone.
Yeah, so, it's him, it's not me. I totally get that.
Yeah, so, whenever somebody takes, I always they'll tell the twins this too. You've come together prematurely if you both start harshly judging each other for, you know, it's like you're responsible for my happiness. That's going to make the twins go into separation or stay in separation if you guys do that. You know, if you guys have the ability to take a look at yourselves, each of you individually, and take ownership of your own stuff, and you're able to say, okay, I saw what I did. Did you see what you did? And both of you can kind of own your stuff. You guys can stay together. And if you can apologize and if you can get real and keep it real, then you're good. You'll be good. But, you know, the minute that there's this immature game playing and there's like lying and there's blaming and all that stuff, you're just not going to be able to come together. So you might, if he really totally refuses to have that conversation with you and get real with you and just have a heart-to-heart, I guess he's just not ready. So
it seems like it. Yeah, it seems like he's not. Yeah.
Well, then you have the option, you know, to date somebody else, or if you don't want to date somebody else in the meantime or in the interim, you know, just enjoy your life to the fullest. You know, just get happy and realize, you know, maybe even go through what you felt like you did do wrong, not wrong, but you know what I mean. But take a look at how you could have handled things differently or something like that. You don't have to go through that lesson again. Learn what you can from what you've been through, and then give it a shot again if, you know, when you see that he has softened up a little bit. But, you know, I've seen some feminines be like, I'm never going to talk to him again. He could ring my doorbell all he wants, and I'm just like, you're not. You don't mean that. You don't mean that, and you got to get off your high horse. Everybody's got to get off their high horse. No friend zoning, everybody. Stop. Just tell it like it is and say how you feel and admit you're scared or whatever it is, or admit your faults, admit what you did wrong. Everybody's a human being. They're just doing the best that they can. So, you know, have these heartfelt conversations and just get to the bottom of it as best you can. And if you can't, you gotta leave them where they're at to kind of mature like a fine wine until they're ready.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. My other question is, like, where do you see us, I guess, in the near future, or where do you see this relationship going? Yeah.
Okay, hang on just a minute. He's going to talk to you in about 2 weeks, and he'll have softened up. And that's the other thing I'll mention. I'm so glad that, because the particular feminine I'm thinking of that was really super defensive, I had she kept having sessions with me, and probably it took about 2 sessions after that one where she really softened up, and it was like she was a totally different person. So that's the amazing thing about twins too. Both the divine feminines and the masculines, they make miraculous changes overnight. And I mean, like, they're not even, like, you don't even recognize how they look physically. You don't recognize how they're showing up. They don't even seem like the same person. They're saying a whole different story. They're singing a whole different tune. This woman, like, transformed before my eyes to where I was almost teary.
Wow.
She was so soft. And she was like, I'm ready to hear him. She's like, I love him, and I just want to talk to him, and I just want us to talk this out. And I was like, you're not gonna bite his head off? She's like, no, and she's laughing. She's, no, I've gotten in a much better place. And so it's like, it can happen so fast. Anyway, so what I felt with him tapping into him is that I think he's going to come to you a little softer in a couple weeks. There's a lot happening.
I do see him, like, I will. Okay. I do see him at work. Do you think that I should, because I approach him when I see him, and do you think that that's something I shouldn't be doing, reaching out to him all the time, or do you think I should pull away and just let him kind of come around?
Yeah. No, I would definitely, if you've made heartfelt attempts to try to make amends, and he's acting like that, you got to leave him alone and give him space. Either side, either person we're talking to. If you've been reaching out and you've been being honest, and the other person isn't meeting you there, forget about them for now. Just forget about them.
Okay. And
heal what you can about yourself as best you can. Mind your own business for a while. And then when they're ready, or they've caught up to you, or they feel, whatever, they've had some realizations or whatever, and they're ready to come to you with that, then you revisit it.
Okay.
So let him come
Thank
to
you so much.
I guess.
Okay.
You know, if so I want to ask them though why they were telling me that you need to do something about this first, because that's contradictory. Let me just ask them what that was about. Hang on a second.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what they're saying is that you just need to like tell him, you know, go to him and say, and this needn't be happening no matter what happens either, because it's like some people will hold it over people just to over their partner, like whatever they did in the past, they're trying to hold it over them to try to get more out of them, or to try to get, I don't know, flowers, or I don't know what they're trying to get. They're trying to prove some kind of point, but they need to look at themselves and see that what they're trying to get out of the other person is what they need most from themselves, not from the other person. They need to fix and heal themselves. Like your twin, if he is your twin, he seriously needs to look at himself. He needs to quit blaming you, and you need to not take that on and feel guilty about that anymore. You guys need to stop that whole dynamic. If something bad happens in a relationship, basically, the one that was the victim needs to go to the other one, hash it out, and say, this is what I want from you in order for this all to be better. The other person needs to do whatever that is to make it better, and they need to fix it. And she needs to, whoever the victim person was, needs to drop it and stop putting it in their face. So, having said that, I think what they're saying is that they want you to say to him, look, I do want to fix things with you. I do want to make amends. I realize that you're really hurt by what I did. And so I am happy to talk to you when you get to the point where you feel like you can talk. But I'm not going to take the abusive talk, and I'm not going to have you beat me up like this and try to act like everything's my fault and blame me for this, because it's not fair and it's not true and it's not right. And then what you do is just lay down the law like that and say, I'm going to leave you alone because I can tell that you obviously need it. So I'm walking away. And sometime when you actually want to, you know, talk to me on a softer level, then come let me know.
Okay.
So just let him officially know you're closing the door for now.
Yeah.
Until he's ready to talk.
Okay. That is definitely something I need to do. Yeah. Cool. It's just been very difficult. Yeah. Okay. And there's no way for you to tell if he is, because I just really want like a confirmation or something if he is my twin flame, or is he just like a karmic, or?
He's either, I know this is just terrible to say this, I think with the timing of it all, because I'm seeing he could either be a real twin flame or a false twin flame. Oh, I got real twin flame. You're good. And for one, right now, false twin flames are falling away. People are breaking up with karmics and false twin flames big time right now. This is not the time that they're coming towards you. This is not the time when they're healing things. So the fact that you guys are working on healing things, you know, that's even more evidence that it's a real twin flame. Because that's just what's happening on the collective right now. So, but you've got to figure it out for yourself, though, because this is an individual journey. Sometimes people do think somebody's their twin flame, and it turns out to be their false because they get abusive and things like that. And I don't believe twin flames are capable of being. I mean, they can go temporarily insane, I suppose, and be abusive once or something. But if they're an abusive person and they're lacking in compassion, and they're like some kind of psychopath, where they're just kind of pretending to be good people. No, that's not a twin flame. Twin flame is an evolved being, somebody who's worked on themselves, somebody with a very tender, sweet heart at their core. You know, and
he's definitely yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
He's definitely a very good guy.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to read a little letter at the end of this. That this might be, you know, this is getting so long. This might be a part 1 and part 2, but there's going to be a letter in there you guys can listen to that's like all about that. So,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
but I'm so glad.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No problem. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a great day.
Or whatever time it is there.
Nice. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Thank you so much for waiting.
Hello.
Who am I speaking with?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't hear myself. So yeah, it's Suzanne.
Ah, I know this voice.
Yes,
actually, our callers probably know your voice too.
They probably do. I wouldn't doubt it.
And
I
our
call
listeners.
Well, right.
And
how are you?
Hey, I just want to say something to TD real quick because I can tell he's still in the caller queue. I'm not going to pick up your call, so don't worry. I know that you're just listening in, so don't worry about that. All right. So, what is your question this evening?
So, it's Suzanne.
Yeah.
I have a little update for you. You know that we spoke last weekend. And so I made a decision that I sent him that text on Monday. And I told him, I said, I will not be a second choice. I will not be an option for you. And he came back with, okay, I'm just heading back into town, but I will not be accused. And he said, take care. So we have not spoke since. I have reached out to him twice because I play darts. Well, we play darts on Tuesday nights, and I sent him a text on Tuesday and said, good luck, shoot well. And I told him I was getting ready to leave the bar if he wanted to talk. No response. So yesterday morning, I sent him a text, and I said, I know it's early, but I've been thinking about this all week, and I might, I probably shouldn't have said what I did, but...
what did you say?
I can't find it. So I said, I know it's early, but I've been thinking about this all week, and all I can say is that I was wrong to say it, and I'm really sorry if I hurt your feelings. You know that was not my intention.
But what did you say originally that he took offense to?
When I told him that I knew about the other girl.
Yeah, but that's all you said. Did you? I don't think you said anything wrong. I don't think you said anything wrong.
No.
Sometimes.
So the first message on Monday was, I said, so see, this is what I was talking about. I know about Val, and I will not be a second option or a choice, even a choice.
Okay, so maybe you could have given the benefit of the doubt a little bit better.
Probably, but I did apologize.
Okay, but no, I'm just saying. Guys. For one, that is a defensive posture he's taking. If he was innocent, completely innocent, which, he was attracted to her, they were about to do something physical, and he wasn't telling you. So,
and then,
somebody who feels guilty gets pretty ticked off.
Right. Well, and then I told you about that flash of a message that I had Monday morning. Or it was either Monday morning or Tuesday morning. I think it was Tuesday.
I don't remember. What was it?
So I had taken my phone off the charger, and I laid it on my rib cage underneath, kind of by my sternum, and I had that flash of a text message, and it had her name at the top, and it said goodbye in caps with exclamation point. Remember? Okay. And so, yeah, that message wasn't for me. It was for him. So whatever else the message said, I don't know.
I think the universe was just letting you know that was over. I mean, and I think I shared with you this funny story was, I don't remember which girl. My divine masculine has been dating I don't know how many girls, but one of them, I think it's the latest one. I don't remember. But one of them, who apparently wears heels a lot, I would think, comes stomping off next to me when I was on my way back to my car one time. And I just kind of looked at her like, what are you doing here? Like, who are you? And she just looks me up and down. She goes, I don't see what the big deal is. And I was like, okay, this must be what my masculine girlfriend. Yeah, but that was
told me about that.
Our listeners have not heard this story. It's pretty crazy because she followed me all the way back to my car, sat in the passenger seat, drove most of the way home, making little comments about everything that I was doing, and kind of just acting kind of pissy about it. And I just said, look, I'm not even doing anything. If he's thinking of me or withdrawing from you or doing whatever having to do with me, it's got nothing to do with anything I'm doing. I'm not even doing anything. So anyway, I ended up being able to get rid of her, but they do communicate with us like that. But you.
So was it her higher self that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they do. And our higher selves, you would think of our higher selves. You would think that our higher selves are like all spiritual and stuff, but honestly,
they're not.
They're more evolved than we are. But
right.
and it's kind of, sometimes it's like a combination of it's almost like a spirit of their 3D. I don't know how to describe it, or if that's something different than a higher spirit necessarily, like a higher self. But I just know that it's a more spirit version of who they are in the 3D. So, and those are the ones that I talk to mostly. They're very much like they are in the physical. But they also have like a bigger picture, and they know what's really going on, which is probably why she was so upset with me. Probably like in the physical, she had no idea who I even was, but in the spirit, she's like,
right,
my man likes you, and it's pissing me off. So,
right.
Yeah, but I think that was a good thing. But now you got to deal with him and the way that he's treating you, because if he's truly innocent, and which we know he wasn't, but you caught him, you caught him, and it was really embarrassing for him. So that was a defensive posture he took. But honestly, it's like he's got to let his guard down, and he's got to talk to you. And you've apologized. So now you just
in the text, but yeah, I did apologize.
Okay. Well, I think you just need to back off until he's ready, just like that last caller. Like, you just got to let him brood about it, and have him come to you when he's ready. And it's funny how he's turned it around on you, because he was the one who was kind of sneaking around not being honest. And if he was being upright about this whole thing, he'd be like, you know what? I'm just as in the wrong. I was hiding something from you, and that wasn't cool.
So why the goodbye from her? Why the goodbye from her to him? Did she find out about me?
Hang on a minute. Are you saying you actually got a text, or was this or was it a spiritual thing?
No, it was just a flash on my phone. I did not get a text.
It was a flash on your phone. That was spirit.
So if let's say
it's the same thing with that.
I was.
Huh?
It was just like a flash, and her name was at the top, and then the message, it just said goodbye with exclamation point.
Yeah, but it wasn't even a text. Like, you couldn't go look at it today, right now?
No, it wasn't to me. It was a spiritual thing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it was her, being...
Like, she sent it to him, but I saw a flash of it myself.
I know. I'm trying to say, she was like, but she meant for you to see it, otherwise you wouldn't have seen it. It was meant for you to see. So she was, in a sense, okay, it's the same thing as what I'm trying to explain. The same thing is what, whoever that girl was that showed up for me, it's the same thing. She was just acting like all pissy. Well, goodbye. Like, I'm out of here. But I just want you to know that I know about you.
Oh,
that kind of thing.
She does. Okay, so she does know about me. All right.
Yep. Now you got it.
But that's kind of weird for me to send him that message on Monday, and then for me to see her message on Tuesday.
Why?
I'm just because I mean, maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know.
Well, he probably broke things off with her, or she did with him. But he probably felt guilty, and he probably did something about it. But then he's just treating you bad because he's feeling guilty. You know what I mean?
Right. He hasn't talked to me, so whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I
would
feel
just
bad, you know.
Don't feel bad. He's the one who was sneaking around.
Well, no,
you
I
didn't.
don't feel. I mean, I don't feel bad. What I feel is, you know, I don't know what to do about it. You know, I have backed off. I haven't messaged him since yesterday morning.
Yeah, but you do see he's switching this around on you. You didn't exactly say it the best way possible, but both of you made a mistake here. Both of you, and this is what I was talking about, both of you need to take ownership. Both of you need to be apologizing. Both of you need to say, I kind of screwed up. I screwed up in the way that I said it, but you screwed up that you were hiding something from me. Yeah? Is this all on you?
No.
Do you think he's
justified?
My fault.
No.
Yeah, is it all your fault? No.
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 And
you've done what
and that's what, and right.
To try to rectify it, yes?
Right, and that's why I said it the way that I said it. The text, the one I sent him yesterday morning. You know, it wasn't my intention to hurt your feelings if I did.
Okay, so I believe what you need to do, and I'm going to feel into this too, just to make sure that I'm not missing something here. But what I really feel also for you is that you need to let him know we're both in the wrong here. And let's not, this is the thing too. It's like, this is why you have to use some kind of a tool to not take things personally so you don't overreact and end up cutting the other person's head off to spite your foot. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that escalated very quickly and you guys kind of like cut each other off unnecessarily. So, if you were to have done like Byron Katie's work on that process or something, like in between talking to him, if you were to just have gotten to a really clear place where you weren't taking it personally and you just felt really like, I just want to have clarity here, then you would have been speaking to him from a different tone. You know, and when he reacted, you know, so that's just, I mean, I'm glad that this happened in the sense that our listeners can kind of learn that too. Like, don't respond to somebody when you're reacting. Don't react out of anger. Don't react out of upset. You know,
and I think that's what he did, right?
Exactly. So he'll come back around, but you got to give him plenty of space right now. But I would just let him know, I do care about you. I do want to keep you in my life, and I think we just need to talk about this. So when you're ready, just let me know. Leave the ball in his court. He wants you just as bad. I feel that. He's feeling really crappy right now. And right now he's like, how, you know what, he's so defensive because it's like he knows that he screwed up and he's like, I don't even know how to say something about this right now. He's like really embarrassed. And so how can he save face? That's what he's thinking about. Like, how can he save face? The only thing he's ever known to do in prior relationships is to get defensive and make them back off. So he attacked you, and he made it hurt, and it stung you, and you stood back. But that was what you needed in the first place, was that standing back from that real clear space. That, you know, he just made you kind of step back into your own energy. Right. But you went a little bit further with it and started feeling really guilty. That's, you know, the idea is to actually just kind of stand in your own power and in your own truth and have, and be clear, you know.
Right.
If we can all communicate from that place of just clarity, then instead of reactivity, then these conversations we have will be much more productive.
Right.
But it's okay. You know, don't, you got to, like, the guilt's going to just disempower you. So whatever you need to do, I would get over the guilt, because he should be having just as much guilt right now, and I'm sure he does. So don't worry about it.
I really don't feel guilty about it. What I'm feeling is just, because I mean, when you have a connection like that, you can still, I feel his energy all the time. And it's been really quiet today. So, yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you
I'm working on my other stuff, I'm working on my blog and on the other page and stuff like that.
Good.
So I'm not, just sitting around moping because he won't text me back.
Yeah. So send him love and blessings, just like whenever you get, like I was talking about earlier in the show, when I got hit with all that emotion, just send him love and blessings and just let him know that you're ready to talk. Talk to them like you would a friend. Like I do that with mine all the time. I just reassure him and I let him know let's just talk, This doesn't have to be a big deal. Let's just talk.
Well, I'm not even mad about it. I mean, I think maybe most, I don't know. This is my first rodeo with a twin flame. So, of course, you know that, but, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's a whole other can of worms, man.
And with somebody else, I was mad about it, but I just can't be mad at him for it. I'm not mad.
Good.
So, but, is he going to text me first, or do I need to text him again?
Well, again, I would just, I would tell him that you're ready to talk whenever he is. But put it back in his court and get away from him. Give him lots of space to think about it.
Okay, all right.
And, and let him face it. It'll make him feel good about himself when he does.
Right.
When he comes to the conclusion that he needs to actually face this and talk to you, he's going to feel much better about himself. If you made it all happen, it'd be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not the same.
No, it's not. When do you see us having that talk?
Let me see here. Soon. Within about 3 days.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because, we're on opposing teams for darts, and we're playing each other. Our teams are playing each other again on Tuesday, so, I'll send him that text, and I'll hear in a little bit, and maybe he'll say something to me Tuesday night. I don't know.
Yep, I feel it. Yep, it'll be good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just rebuild again. It's really hard to knock twins down because you can't shake their feelings for each other, so you don't have to worry too much. But, again, these relationships are all about growth. So whatever this is showing you about yourself and your reactivity, that's what you need to take from this.
You mean my reaction to it?
Yep.
See, my old reaction would have been, okay, you know what, screw this, I'm just going to go out and date whoever. That would be my old self, but yeah, I'm not doing that.
Good.
I did it before with him, and yeah, no.
Okay, so then the next time, this lesson is, okay, so you've gotten a step probably better than what you would have done protesting before. Now this next step is going to be the next time something happens, I'm going to totally give him the benefit of the doubt and say this as gently as I can.
Right.
So that I'm not accusing him
before you say anything. Make sure I say it right.
Or tune into your intuition,
Right.
And because your guides will be like, they'll always tell you to take a gentle approach or a humorous approach. Guides are, your angels and guides, they're all about humor, play, flirtation, laughter, and grace.
Right.
So if you can make sure all your communication is either peaceful, playful, flirtatious, laughing, or, one of those things, then you're guaranteed success pretty much.
So through that channeled message that I got from my friend, I do have 4 guides. How many people do you know that have a money guide?
The money guide?
Mhm.
No, I really haven't been keeping tally. You know, it's like it depends on if somebody's calling out for help or not. Like, is the person like sometimes, like I could swear to you back when I was in a poverty state and I was like homeless, I would have sworn to you there's no way in hell that I had any kind of money guide.
Right.
You know? But, I mean, the money guide might have been gently taking me through a poverty situation to help me learn about money, my relationship with money, and all of that.
Right.
So who's to say? But I do believe that we can kind of not employ as in pay, but we can actually call upon different angels and guides to help us with different areas of our lives all the time. And sometimes I'll call in, like, I'll be on my way to work and I'll be like, I need a PR angel, please, you know, and then I'll tell them what I need them to do, and then they'll go out and do it, and then I'll call somebody else and I'll be like, HR angel, can I talk to you for a minute? Here's what I'm concerned about. And then I send them out to take care of it. And then I call in somebody else and be like, mechanic angel, I need you, please. My car's leaking.
My car.
Do I pay for it or do I get a new car? You know, I need the answer, please. And then I just send them out and see what comes back. So, but you can do that, and anyone can do that with any kind of angel. There's an angel for everything. But they can't really necessarily help you unless you ask for their help.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okie dokie.
Anything else, my dear?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm glad you called.
Then thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Have a good night. I'm sure we'll see you in the forum. I really appreciate all your participation on there. It's really cool to hear what you have to say all the time.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy, so.
Cool.
Alrighty.
All right, have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I just wanted to share a couple of thank yous and then do a little ending piece here. Thank you for yesterday, Amy. I'm smiling this morning for no reason, but I believe it was because of you. Thank you also for letting me know my parents still watch over me. It's very comforting. I look forward to the picture of my tarot spread. So I can continue this smiling and feeling peace and joy. Namaste. And someone else said, Amy, thank you again for spending time talking with me on Monday. I appreciate you more than I can show. I wanted to share with you an experience that happened after our conversation. Today I walked to the herb store to get some rose otto oil per our conversation, and there was one bottle left and it was on sale. I got talking to the owner, who is also from my hometown of Longmont, Colorado. And I told her how much I love working with oils and teas, and she explained how she was just getting ready to have a new re-grand opening with a different name. I told her I would love to come help. She started crying, saying she had just prayed the night before for someone to just walk in and want to help. Wow. She is planning a sailing trip to Greece and really didn't want to close the store for the whole time, so she hired me. You're truly a gift. Thank you. I'm buying some more time. Thank you. Also, there was the cutest thing. Rachel called earlier in the show, but I was going to read this because it was just so sweet. She posted this on the forum, I don't know, right after Labor Day weekend, and she said that she got this really neat message from her twin, this neat little voicemail. She said, my twin left me a voicemail yesterday. Hey, Rachel, just calling to say happy Labor Day. I'm at a party right now, and I'm missing you. I wish you were here because I know I would be laughing and having fun. I hope you're having a wonderful day and spending it with people who are important to you. Clearly, I wasn't there because he's not here. So cute that he's feeling insecure about that when he knows already. Anyway, my phone is about to die. I'm putting it on the charger. I might not answer right away, but I will call you back, and I love you so much. Oh, so sweet. Okay, so let's see here. All right, I did want to share this. And I may, I'm going to go ahead and share this. This is going to be another really long show. I'm so sorry, you guys. But it's either this or dividing it into two, and I don't see a difference. So, you can always pause it, I guess, and listen to the rest of it later or something. And let me know if that's a problem later. Like, tell me you'd rather have like 2 shorter segments than one long one. I'm always open to feedback. Okay, so a story from a divine feminine she wanted to share. Hi, Amy. Sorry in advance for how long this ended up being. It's all just pouring out of me. Thank you so much for yet again another amazing reading. I just cherish every moment I get to speak with you and absolutely love listening to your podcast. I truly feel that with your new format, you've totally come into your own. And as I listen to it each Monday morning, it really raises my vibration and sets a positive intention for the week. So I wanted to share some of my twin flame updates over the past month and a half with you. When we last spoke in July, I had the opportunity to meet up and see my twin flame, which I was really on the fence about. You immediately told me not to cancel on him and felt very strongly that I should follow through with meeting up with him, so I did. And it ended up being one of the best get-togethers we've had. And trust me, we've had some pretty incredible moments together over the last 8 years. The reason this one was so special, though, was because of the pure, open, and honest conversations that we were finally able to have in person. I even explained this concept of what twin flames were to him, and to my amazement, he was actually grateful that I did. For 8 years, we've thought that this relationship was crazy, that we were crazy. We could never quite understand the intense connection and magnetic draw to each other. Despite all that's happened separately in our lives, we always end up reconnecting. And now we could finally understand that it was that we were experiencing. We weren't crazy, and this was actually a real thing. He sat with me and read through the article, 18 Signs You're Experiencing What's Known as a Twin Flame, and was completely baffled by the fact that we could relate our relationship to each and every one of them. It was a truly special moment for the both of us. Since that meeting, we remained in contact, and we even started a shared music album together on Spotify, so we can both add and listen to music that reminds us of each other. That's so sweet. Which I find hysterical because this happened back in the middle or end of July, and then just a few weeks later, you and many others were reporting music as a way to communicate with your twin flame. So incredible. I noticed that the screen name he uses on Spotify ends in 88. In the amount of 88s I started seeing after that have become overwhelming. There was one afternoon that I just started crying and laughing, saying, okay, I get it, from license plates with 88s to my 8-pound weight sitting next to each other, 88 degrees, $88. There was one afternoon last week that I had been wanting to reach out to him and had been holding back. I said to myself, okay, there would have to be some pretty big signs for me to reach out right now. And sure enough, I pulled into a parking lot and looked up to see a sign for a State Farm's agent with the name that had the same initials as my twin flame. And the phone number listed for them was no joke, 883-8888. So yeah, I immediately sent a quick message to check in. Turns out he was going through some stuff that he described as needing to be worked on or worked out at the moment. I had been checking in on his astrological readings and saw that there had been a lot of conflict around him. Not to mention that a lot of DMs have been in hermit mode, so I guess I wasn't too surprised by this. But then we had our reading yesterday, and you confirmed everything to me. The conversation that we had back in July really shook him, and sounds like everything he used to believe in as being right has been changed, or has changed. When you pulled his cards, you pulled the Tower card and saw that his whole life was falling apart, and that he was questioning why he was wasting his life with the wrong person. He knows what the right thing to do is and wants to bring justice to the situation. Seriously, chills. So you'll find this interesting. I pulled his horoscope for the month, and this is what it said. For a long time, you held out for something you wanted that never arrived. You may now be cursing your choice to wait it out, Gemini, because you feel that you've wasted your time and lost your other options. Although this journey is not an easy one, I'm so hopeful and encouraged by all the signs and synchronicities that continue to pop up along the way. Not only do they make me smile, but they remind me that I'm on the right path and just need to continue to listen to my intuition. Thank you for giving us all a platform to relate and to share our journeys. It's truly inspiring. Sending lots of love and light your way, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. That was so awesome. Okay, so, and I also, when I was in Switzerland, I got 2 receipts back that were 111. Exactly, no change. 111.00. Isn't that amazing? I posted those on the forum for everybody to see. I was like, oh my gosh, it's even following me in Switzerland. Okay, so words and parting. One of my friends just broke up with her false twin flame. Now she's on all these dating sites looking for that guy that will treat her right and show up for her like this guy never did. I assured her the dating site wasn't necessary because true love finds you. It doesn't hurt, but it's also not necessary. Society teaches us that if he doesn't come on strong and consistent, he's just not that into you. But I'm here to say that you deserve better than that guy who aggressively pursues you, telling you everything you want to hear, because that either goes 2 ways, to a karmic situation, including a false twin, or a soulmate. True love makes you wait. Even at the end of that movie, he's just not that into you. You see that they were shaped and molded as they waited for each other to be ready, and then they finally got together at the end. You want the guy with a beautiful heart who became damaged goods through being poorly treated by the women in his life. The one who, as a result, became a people pleaser and turned to alcohol to cope and deemed himself cursed or unworthy of the real deal, so perhaps became a player or a hermit to escape. Just a sweet person running from their pain, essentially. This is not to be confused with your false or preparatory twin who is void of empathy altogether and derives pleasure from hurting people and are completely selfish and abusive. You know the difference because the real twin has a good heart and is capable of genuine compassion. They've made mistakes they've not been proud of, but they experience remorse about those things. They have a conscience. Once he realizes he loves her and steps into his power, he's unstoppable. It's designed this way so his counterpart awakens in him the curiosity of his inner child, gives him hope, allows him to see the facade and walls he's created to protect himself, and causes a passion in him to emerge he's never known or had the courage to explore before, actually giving his heart to someone completely, which frightens and exhilarates him at the same time. It tames the beast, soothes his soul, and transforms him into the king he was meant to be. Then the two can become this power couple who go and help others by example and show people how to overcome anything. And because she, too, was a kind-hearted little girl beaten and battered by life only to rise above the adversity to retain her purity of heart, hope that she could love again, and faith in a better life on the horizon. She was able to dive deep into her shadows, face her demons, and made them a slave to her free heart. Then she held the light up like a lighthouse for her masculine to step into his own dark night of the soul and find his way home. In the end, they find their cozy cottage in the woods, inspiring all who see, with an unwavering loyalty and refined fierceness united at last. Of course, you can imagine how this translates in the bedroom. A passion unparalleled, both are born from true vulnerability and authenticity. Whereas the karmics, being master manipulators, will continue to look awesome, act awesome, the key word being act, and teach you more life lessons so that you can learn better how to love yourself, discern better, and establish healthier boundaries. Or the soulmate shows you just how lovable you are, and but doesn't challenge or grow you and is prone to become boring. I'm kind of blunt if you haven't seen that yet. True love makes you wait, but is worth the wait in the end. Having to work so hard at something also makes you both value and appreciate it that much more. It makes you willing to do anything for them. You're willing to compromise, sacrifice, apologize, and do things you'd never done before with anyone else or for anyone else. And finally, your efforts in the relationship aren't like throwing pearls to pigs in the past who won't appreciate it. They're cherished, your secrets treasured, and sex means something beyond pleasure. What God has brought together in this way, with all these signs and synchronicities and all the magic, no man could put asunder, meaning no one can separate them. No one can come between them. An affair makes them stronger. An argument makes them wiser, sometimes that too. A lie makes them more genuine. A crisis turns them into badasses. If they're too immature, they grow up and come back together new people. No matter what life throws at them, they overcome it together. They always have each other's backs. Watch Crazy Stupid Love for a great example of a twin flame journey. Anyway, thank you guys so much, as always, for listening. I really appreciate you and this community and the way that we are there for each other. Love you guys and send you hugs this beautiful evening. And, thanks for listening to the Satori Show, guys. Talk to you next time.